Hello and welcome to my presentation for my professional project, which is the effects of video demonstration and video demonstrations in education. I am a second-year teacher here at North Salem High School. I started right after we came back from COVID, so I guess I'm 2.5 years in. I teach Forensics 1 and 2 and NGSS Physics, and I graduated with my bachelor's in education with a focus in general science back in 2020. And now I'm working on my STEM education major with my master's program, and this is my last assignment for that, so thank you for being a part of it. I chose to do this project because I am very passionate about what I teach, and I knew I could make it more accessible to all of my students. I found out I enjoyed making videos and content for my students back when I was student teaching and we went into lockdown and my student teaching got cut short and I found a lot of time on my hands. I decided to make my YouTube channel, Science with Miss Hickman, where I made a bunch of at-home science experiments for students to do while they're stuck at home as well. I used my phone, I used a little GoPro I had, and found it was a lot of fun, a little challenging, and very rewarding. I personally learn best when I see visuals and modeling, so I knew my students would benefit from these videos as well. And not only would it benefit myself and others, my students, it would benefit any other forensic teachers or teachers in general who would like to use this content in their classes. And since it's a public platform, anyone in the world can use it. The standards for the curriculum in forensics are followed using the planned activities from said curriculum that previous teachers put together. The in-task goals, or the model core teaching standards that I wanted to meet for this project, are as follows. We've got personalized learning for diverse learners, a stronger focus on application of knowledge and skills, improved assessment literacy, a collaborative professional culture, and new leadership roles for teachers and administrators. I'd like to argue that my project hits all 5 of those goals, and I'll start with the first one. Personalized learning for diverse learners. That's pretty much what this whole project is about. I want to make forensics and what we're doing accessible to everyone to learn the content. So I know we have a very diverse community at North. We are a Title I school. We're the oldest school in Salem, and we have a lot of history there and a lot of unique minds, and a lot of students who are learning English as a second language. So I'll talk about this later in my literature review, but this helps students from all backgrounds learn with a visual representation and just an easier accessibility to something if they had missed it for absences or whatnot. The second goal is a stronger focus on application or use of knowledge and skills. In forensics, we aren't like other classes or core classes where it's a lot of multi-choice tests, really boring. All of our assessments or final summative assessments are hands-on, relevant to what we're doing, and it requires the students to actually know what they're doing and to know about the subject that I had just taught them. So that makes it hard if maybe they didn't understand me the first time through because that's not their first language, or maybe they process things slower, or they were absent for many different reasons. Having these videos available both on Canvas, our learning platform, or on YouTube allows them to visit it or learn it for the first time. Which leads into improved assessment literacy. students, they have to know the content before they can be assessed on it, and this will help that happen. A collaborative professional culture. I've already been working closely with my partner in crime, no pun intended. He also teaches forensics. He's probably watching this video right now. Hello. We've been sharing the videos. I'm not sure if he's chosen to use them in his classroom, but he has that as an option. And I like that I can finally collaborate back to him because he's helped me with getting started as a teacher, and I'm finally doing something to add to it, not just use what's been given to me. And then that, I feel like that goes along with the new leadership roles for teachers and admins. I feel like I've kind of stepped into a leadership position with this. So let's move on. Speaking of the literature review earlier, these are some of the big ideas I covered in it. Multimodal methods of teaching are beneficial. There's a couple things there. I really like Edgar Dale's Cone of Learning and Duke and Laird's sensory theory. These cover that students learn best hands-on, visually, modeling, instead of just lecture or reading. The second big idea is technology and online material is well known to students and often preferred. We live in the future. It's crazy to me how much technology we have now, how much information we have at the tip of our fingers, and students nowadays, they know how to access the internet. They know how to look things up. They know how to use AI technology nowadays. So this is something that they're already comfortable with for the average student. Online materials and lessons assist all students due to ability to infinitely review and process. If it's a video and it's online and it's still available, it's going to be there for as long as the student needs to, and they can watch it as many times as they need. They can pause it as much as they need to for them to process it fully. English language learners and students with disabilities learn quicker with visual and video representations. You might notice I have a lot of people here that I researched about this because this was kind of the main focus. I want to make it accessible to everyone. Some of these people mentioned that closed captions were necessary, that vocab was learned quicker through this. Many different things, as I'm sure you've read. And last but not least, these videos are helpful for sharing resources with other educators. I've got a couple people here that support that. This was kind of lacking in some information when I was researching, which leads me to some gaps. So in my research, I did not find much information on using videos in lessons that was relevant to high school. Little to no information on video demonstrations and their relationships with coworkers or leaders. I feel like that was a very niche thing. And not much information on students' preferences on the amount of time spent on the computer at school. That's something I'm worried about for them. My eyes hurt after looking at a computer for too long unless I have my blue light glasses on. It's not something we need to be doing all the time. But it's a very helpful resource, and I'm sure a lot of their teachers use it, so how much is too much? And those are just a few things I am left wondering to maybe look forward into researching in the future. So to do this project, I had to set up a very specific recording environment. I used my classroom, and these black desks were really nice for having a nice background for whatever I was teaching. I bought this tripod that had a remote with it on Amazon, and I just used my phone and put it right in here. I had to be really careful with the environment because my classroom gets warm, so I had lots of fans going on. I had music playing most often. I have my fish tank, which makes little trickling noises and can be kind of distracting to a video, so I had to turn all of that off. Had to turn all my lights on, which I normally have off for students, and I had to lock my doors, which did not always work because I have some coworkers who have keys to my classroom, and my classroom connects to the science department's kind of break room. So I would sometimes have people walk in while I was recording. I would even put notes on the door saying recording in process, and that didn't always work, but that's fine. Then deciding what to video, I chose materials and lessons that were most difficult for students to understand. For example, the rigor mortis and algor mortis activities, there's a lot of information and there's a lot of math with algor mortis and with calculating the angle of impact and whatnot. So that's why I chose those specific videos. I also had to decide what video editing software to use. There's a lot out there, and some is really expensive, and some just aren't very good or not what I was looking for. So since I was using my phone, I emailed some of my coworkers, like the leadership teachers and the I always forget the name of it. They teach like computer design and stuff like that. And a lot of them mentioned Splice, which I ended up getting and I really like. The only downside is it's a weekly subscription fee. So I'm paying like $4 a week to have this. But it worked exactly how I wanted it to, and I no longer need it unless I decide to stick with that one. And then posting and using them. I had to find a good place to post it. So I made this Forensics with Tarbell YouTube channel. And using them was very easy because I just needed the link and I could embed it into my slides or put it directly on Canvas. So I have an example of the project and I would love for you to try it with me. All you'll need is a piece of paper. Since this is pre-recorded, please pause this video and press play when you're ready to get started, and I will start the video in here. I'll give you a few seconds. Hopefully you have your piece of paper. Here we go. Try and follow along and see how the flow of this video feels. right, hopefully that was easy peasy. And hopefully it felt pretty smooth with the transitions. So this is what I found after doing this project. It was very useful as part of the lessons. Not only did it save time and save my voice and save materials such as the paper bindles, it was easily accessed on Canvas. I could point students to the videos if they missed that day. I could just be like, hey, I know you weren't here yesterday. We covered some pretty important stuff. I made a video about it. Just find it on Canvas. Here are some headphones. And based on the students' work, the videos were beneficial to their learning of the content because they did really well. And my coworker has access to the videos for him to use in forensics if he wishes. I loved this little picture. It's so cute. So overall, I felt like this was a really fun project to do, which made it much more enjoyable and a fun thing to do to end my master's degree. There were a few challenges, such as technical problems, the environment not being completely sound because of coworkers, and the financial part of it with the subscriptions and whatnot. I do plan to continue making videos. I actually made a video for physics and shared it with my PLC, and they shared it with their students, and they said it helped, and it was exactly what they wanted to teach as well. And the amount of work that went into making this is totally worth how long these videos will be around. As long as YouTube exists and my account doesn't get banned for some reason, I'll have them, and I also have them backed up on my Google Drive, so it's totally worth it. So what comes next? I want to continue making videos. I want to further my professional development and make my teaching equitable to all students. That's something all teachers do, but that's something I want to continue for sure. I want to share my resources with other teachers, not just the ones at my school. I'll maybe use the video editing skills I have honed to help the school make videos for leadership or a fun teacher video. And of course, I'll never stop learning. Thank you so much to my parents, to my husband, to my coworkers, and all of my advisors that helped me make this possible. You are the best, and I couldn't have made it without you. Thank you.